On Tuesday, December 3rd, we saw Palantir break $70 per share. And this move in the stock price came after an announcement that Palantir had been approved to be a company that could handle highly sensitive government documents. So in today's video, we're going to discuss this announcement as well as the effects it could have on some of Palantir's underlying metrics. And as always, if you enjoy this type of content, drop a like down below and subscribe for more videos like this one. Leading into this announcement, Palantir was trading at a stock price around $66. However, after the announcement came through, at one point during the day, it was trading up almost 8%. It has fallen back down a little bit, but is still trading around that $70 mark. And all of this came after Palantir announced that they had been approved for additional security designations, which allows the company to handle highly sensitive US government workloads on its cloud offerings. The company disclosed that it had been granted FedRAMP high authorization for Palantir Federal Cloud Service as well as Palantir Federal Cloud Service supporting services. To fully understand the importance of this to Palantir, you have to understand what FedRAMP is. So FedRAMP is a government-wide program that promotes the adoption of secure cloud services across the federal government by providing a standardized approach to security and risk assessment for cloud technologies and federal agencies. The key phrases here are security and risk assessment. Basically, what this company does is they look at companies that work with the federal government and assess the risk and how secure their platforms are, and then gives them certain ratings on what those platforms can actually be used for within the federal government. And really what this ultimately does for Palantir is it helps them build more relationships across the federal government. They have now gotten this kind of check mark from FedRAMP, and this will allow them to get their foot in the door with these other government agencies that may have been apprehensive in the past to using companies like Palantir, just because they're not so sure how secure their platforms are. But now FedRAMP has come in and said that yes, Palantir is secure and you can really start using them at a higher frequency for some of these more security intensive types of applications. And Palantir released the following statement around this approval. We're proud to have achieved the FedRAMP high milestone for our full product suite, including our award-winning AI platform AIP, which is transforming the speed, scale, and efficiency with which the US government can operate across civilian, defense, and intelligence agencies. And there are two key points that I wanted to address in this announcement. The first being that they have gotten approval for their full product suite. That is obviously massive because it doesn't mean that only one part of their product suite is getting singled out and getting this approval. They're getting it across all of their different applications, which really opens the door for, again, a larger number of government agencies to step in, look at Palantir, and potentially offer them contracts. And the second key point that I wanted to address is in this statement, they say they are transforming the speed, scale, and efficiency of the US government. And the reason this is so important is because of Doge. And we are not talking about the cryptocurrency. We are talking about the new Department of Government Efficiency that is ran by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. And this newly formed committee is looking to slash up to $2 trillion or 30% of the federal budget. Just like anything in politics, I'm sure there is going to be debate around what should be slashed and what shouldn't be slashed. However, one thing that I think is going to be true is Elon Musk is going to look at different ways to utilize technology to try and make the government more efficient. That is going to be the first objective of this committee, is how can we actually make things more efficient? And then if there are areas where we can slash and cut back on either jobs or even just spending in general, then they will start taking aim at those. But I do think that the first thing, just like we have seen with Elon Musk and Tesla, he is going to look at different ways to implement technologies and how they could actually help the government work more efficiently. And Palantir should be an obvious choice for different technologies that the government can utilize to be more efficient. They're already being used by a number of different government agencies, and with this additional approval, that could really open the door for them being utilized in a lot more different applications. And it certainly doesn't hurt that one of the former co-founders of Palantir, Peter Thiel, has been a longtime supporter of Trump. He supported the campaign back in 2016, however, did not really offer much in terms of funding for the 2024 campaign. And obviously, all of this could have a huge effect on Palantir's numbers. Their US commercial revenue in the most recent quarter grew by 54%. And this has been a big focus area area for investors because this commercial space has been seen as potentially offering a higher growth rate moving forward than the government space. But even with that said, US government revenue in the most recent quarter grew by 40%. One key difference between these two areas, however, is that US government revenue tends to be a little bit more stable of a base to have for a company. When you think about an economic downturn, a lot of the commercial customers will actually pull back on their spending. However, in hard times, the US government is actually going to double down on spending to try and get more money out into the economy. And government revenue right now is a larger portion of Palantir's overall revenue. So if we do see higher growth rates from their government revenue, that will ultimately translate to higher total revenue growth rates. And really, Palantir needs to keep up these higher growth rates to justify their valuation. Right now, their forward P ratio is sitting at 151.52. If you read The Intelligent Investor and pay attention to a lot of value investors, they talk about a 60 forward P ratio as really being the max that a company can justify and still keep up with in terms of growth. So right now, Palantir is sitting at over double that, and that can be very concerning moving forward for a company. That doesn't necessarily mean that the stock price is going to crash. It could result in the company just trading sideways for a period of time until they start building out a lot more of their earnings, because right now for 2024, the average EPS estimate is 38 cents. In 2025, that goes up to 47 cents. So they have a long ways to grow to really justify this valuation. And that could happen as they build out some of these government contracts and get more efficient in how they actually offer their software as a service, which ultimately could grow their margins and help their profitability. And this isn't it for short-term catalysts for Palantir, because they have moved over to the NASDAQ and they're trying to get into the NASDAQ 100 index. The next announcement around what companies will be added to this index actually occurs on December 13th. So here in the next couple weeks, we could have another announcement that could send Palantir's stock price higher. But keep in mind, I do own shares of Palantir, so don't buy a company just because some random guy on YouTube talked about it. Make sure you are doing your own research and looking into companies that meet your risk tolerance as well as your time horizon. With all of that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like down below. And if you want to see more videos like this one, make sure to subscribe. And as always, guys, have a wonderful rest of your day. And for the joke of the day, what's the best way to get to the hospital after breaking your foot? Check the comments down below for the answer. Thanks for watching.